Oh, so can we put the presentation on?
Yes.
Is it here or?
Just one moment. Yep. Leave you. Yep.
Lovely.
Can we have our presentation? Please.
Thank you. That's wonderful. What do I do with this? Right, everybody, I just want to say welcome to our career mapping workshop. It's such a pleasure to meet you and to welcome you here, very warmly welcomed. And we are going to have some wonderful guests here, and we're going to follow on from our fabulous visit that we did to Mace. And Dr. Susan Doering is here as our special guest with all her expertise, and we talked about the visit to Mace, and what we said we were going to do is to support you in thinking about the next steps and how we can progress your career. We also have an industry expert, Tatiana Smith, who I met last year at the Inspiring Women in Construction Awards, and I've been to visit Tatiana in Daines, where she works, and she has done some incredible work. And right from when I met you last year, you were so committed to supporting our community of mothers. So thank you for joining us here, and thank you, Dr. Doering, as well. So, Mothers into Work, for those of you who are new here today, we have a flock of birds because the whole idea of Mothers into Work is to support the employability and career development of women so that we are free like birds by being economically empowered. And, sorry, just trying to, could you just, it's not moving. One moment. Do you want me to? Apologies for this.
One moment, yes.
Right, not to worry. I think what we're going to do is just talk about today. So today, the thing that we're going to do is I just want to hand straight over to our lovely, thank you. So we're going to do some career mapping today. We're going to talk about networking, and we're going to talk about employer work experiences and training, and how we can be better enabled to get connected into work. And also, Dr. Doering has prepared a wonderful exercise to support all of us in being empowered to think in a way that we are able to express what we want to do, and we have got the language and the confidence to be able to talk in that way, because that's very important. So I'm going to go straight into handing over to Dr. Doering. Would you like to come and talk about yourself?
Well, really just introduce myself and also
Thank you.
from me, huge welcome and thank you for coming. I'm sure that this evening, what is this?
It's microphone because we have live stream.
It's not written.
Yes, it's not hard. Can I?
Yes, no problem. So, to a small extent, probably not 100%, but to a small extent, I can empathise very much with your situation. A long time ago, I moved from this country. You can perhaps hear that I am in fact British. I grew up here, I studied here, I did my schooling here, I did my studies here, but then I went abroad. And it was my own choice. So again, there will be things that are not similar, but it was my own choice. And from there, in a very new environment, an environment that I did know something about, but not everything, I had to make my own way. I continued my studies there, and then I had to start to learn how to work there in that new, and this was in Europe, in a European country. I had learned the language at school and at university, but I was by no means fluent. And all of the things, sort of how to know what people were thinking and how to behave, all of those things you have to learn. So that's all I wanted to say. To a little bit, a small extent, I can empathize with your situation. The sort of things that you had from Mr. Bartlett, yes, those buckets, and you were all nodding and saying, and you said, you know, the last three, we've lost those. Let me say now, you can build those up again. The resources are all inside you. And we can work on that. We can work on getting stronger. You will find that there will be people who will help you, right? That's the networking. And you start small, but every network grows. Every person that you meet knows other people. So that's important to know as well. And your reputation, you bring your reputation with who you are, and you grow your reputation with who you are. So it's not impossible. On the contrary, it's completely possible. So this is really only, you know, a little bit about me. I lived abroad for many years and I worked internationally. And so what I do, and what I've been doing for the last 20 years, is helping people with their careers. It's called career coaching and leadership coaching. And I've worked a lot with international organizations, including the United Nations. So to some extent, I have also worked with people in the area that you have come from, so I know a little bit about that. And I know how it feels to be in a situation that seems very strange. Are you all understanding me? Yes. Oh, brilliant. Oh, well, that's wonderful. But that's a fantastic foundation. If you can understand me, you can understand everybody. And you can also learn to articulate yourselves. And that's going to be very, very important. That's something that we'll also do a little bit together. That's probably enough about me, isn't it, Farzana? Yes. One more thing. I published a book last year. So this is called Smart Career Moves for Smart Women. And let me tell you a big secret. All women are smart women, right? Every single one of you is a smart woman. And that's the truth. So Smart Career Moves for Smart Women, how to succeed in career transitions. And we'll do a little bit of an exercise later. We've got lots to do this evening, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think, Tatiana, would you like to come?
What would you like me to do with this thing?
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry.
That's quite all right.
This pass on to me, yeah?
While we're starting presentation, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Tatiana. You probably will hear I have an accent, but my husband is English, so surname is totally English. So that's usually the first question people ask me. because they get confused. I would like to thank Farzana for inviting me.
Pleasure.
I work in design and construction industry, and I understand that you've been introduced to MACE and amazing opportunities with them. That's huge player in the market right now in terms of construction and in terms of consultancy. So if you have opportunity to work with them or for them, that's absolutely amazing experience, I can tell you. So Farzana mentioned briefly that we met at the event, which was Women in Engineering and Construction. So I really, really support Mothers into Work idea, because I'm a mother myself, and going back to work was really hard. Not just a work that you do part-time or maybe a little bit, it's actually getting a full-on career or full-time work with a child was challenging. So I will talk about my career path a little bit. So all my presentation is effectively showcasing my journey and my tips, so it's my personal perspective. But if you have any questions, please do ask questions, okay? So it will be, majority of my information will be based on my experience, which is in design and construction industry. So, but you may find that some of those things are actually relatable to other areas. Let me check, I don't use Apple, so I don't know which button works here. Okay, so I work 15 years in design and construction. At the moment, I work for an engineering firm called Doering. We're predominantly doing design projects for construction of data centers or buildings that have a lot of infrastructure, both mechanical and electrical systems. Prior to that, I was leading a project of a large residential development, which was one of the biggest in Europe. So it was quite a large project to be involved in and very complex. And before that, I was fortunate after my universities to join one of the biggest consulting firms in the area of real estate and property called Arcadis. This is where I started my career in the UK, which was a great experience. And I worked with really good clients, international and local, from different countries. So you could recognize that Microsoft and Amazon are international companies. For example, Ballymore is a very large Irish residential developer, and that brings really interesting European perspective into the work. So I have to work with people from France, from my head office at the moment is in Netherlands, so I work with Dutch people, I work with Germans, and I think being foreigner here is really helpful because you have an opportunity, I think. My boss values the fact that I can work with different nationalities, because when it comes down to working with German or with French, he always gets me involved saying, can you schmooze that out, please? So I think one strength I would like you to take away, what you have open mind about not necessarily being, I don't want to be negative, but not being British may be a good thing for you to work with international communities or abroad. So that's from my personal experience, just picking up on Susan's point before. I think Helena made the introduction about the career path, and I was smiling because I prepared this yesterday exactly to show exactly the point that Helena was making. The career is never linear, and it's never always going up. And then, even if you look at my LinkedIn profile, and it may be nice and shiny, I've been made redundant once in my life, and then I've been disbanded from the project that finished, and I was left with thinking what to do. So if I, in brief, explain to you that I did do my first degree in engineering because it's what my parents told me is a good thing to do. A couple of years later, I thought I had a dream. I wanted to have an international career. And my motto was, because with my diploma that I had, I couldn't work anywhere. It was just not agreeable to international terms. So I thought, I want to work in any country in the world. That was my dream, and I was back then 19. So at some point, my parents had the opportunity to sponsor my education, and I came to UK to do business degree, and I stayed. So I joined, at the age of 25, I joined the graduate program. Many people probably wouldn't do it because it's a massive step back, because by then I already have 2 or 3 years work experience in the country where I came from, and I already had a good salary, and I already have an ego, and I thought, you know what, if I don't make this step back, I'll never move forward. So the second lesson learned I would ask you to take, sometimes you have to make one step back to make 2 steps forwards. Don't be afraid of that, okay? And I have done it a few times in my career. I'll explain to you later. So I started at the beginning of career ladder with being a graduate electrical engineer. I didn't want to use my engineering degree because by the end of my engineering university, I realized I'm not an engineer. I just didn't like sitting at the desk, designing things. So after 6 years at university, I realized it's not my job. But I never regretted doing the degree because all my career revolves around understanding engineers, architects, talking to them, not being afraid to ask questions, and so on. So it's actually helped me. But I had to make step back being graduate, but also I accepted the job of being an engineer. And I thought, you know what, company is big enough, I'll find my way there. And in a year time, I moved actually. After 1 year, one guy spotted me and saying, listen, we need project managers. Would you like to come and help? I said, yeah, definitely. So I jumped on this opportunity and I moved across to be technical project manager or something like that. But the fact that I will be moving away from engineering was already good enough for me. So I stayed in the company for 4.5 years and I moved around in the company. It was good, big enough company to step between different divisions, doing different projects. It wasn't all very smooth. I had some challenges with different bosses and so on, but I went on maternity leave. And by the end of my maternity leave, I thought, okay, I probably should start getting back. And in UK, there is a good thing. You can have like 10 days a year when you can keep in touch days. So during the year, you can contact your employer and come and visit, and they used to be paid when I had maternity leave. But at the end of my maternity leave, I received a notice that I'm being made redundant. And it's illegal to make person redundant while on maternity, but they waited until the end. And I think because company was reducing costs, they get rid of people who want on the projects. So people who didn't have project or been away on maternity or elsewhere were let go effectively. Anyway, I stepped back and I thought, okay, I'll spend another half a year with my son. Maternity leave here is really short, it's 1 year maximum. And then I spent another half a year with my son, and then I thought I probably should go back to work. I started looking for jobs. I thought I want to work in the jewelry department, and I wanted to be a real estate. I wanted to be around home so I can look for my son, drop him to nursery and back. So my CV got online. I never intended to find next career move, but the company called me and said, listen, would you like to come for an interview? And it happened that the project I've been offered was within driving distance, so I could drive. It was my side of London, and I live in East London. And also, but it was on construction site. And I used to work in the fancy high-end consultancy in King's Cross. I said, all right, do I take it or do I not? I looked at this and I thought, okay, I can drive, so I can go back to nursery, pick up my son anytime. The project is big enough to look good on my CV. Okay, it's construction site. Anyway, I went for it. And listen, I spent 5 amazing years on construction site office, working with a lot of amazing people, of professionals, both in the office and on site. I had such a great experience of hands-on experience and so on. Yes, I wore hard hat and boots, and I had to go to site visit every week and be exposed to a variety of British swearing language and so on. But again, it was great, and I never regret it. And at the end, apparently the estate got the award, and it was one of the biggest residential development in Europe, which I didn't know when I joined, honestly. So at the end, I was quite proud. So going then back, the 4.5 years passed, and the project has finished, and my boss decided I don't want to continue the business anymore. He was already in his 60s, he wanted sailing, doing skiing, he retired, so he let the team go. So I had really good pay, and then we had enough notice, but then it was after COVID, retail was going down, commercial real estate is not being used because everyone worked from home, and I thought, okay, what should I do now? Because most of the industries are sort of not thriving. And then I thought, you know what? There was a data center industry. They're really booming with all of these online activities, shopping, and so on. And I thought, okay, I probably should get my engineering degree again. So I went on a hunt for getting into the data center industry because this is the industry that was on uprise. It wasn't easy because you need to have lots of experience. There's a lot of money. People are really, really particular about what you know and what you don't know. So to convince them you have experience is actually challenging. If you don't have experience, they almost don't talk to you because they are very, very, don't know what word to use. They want you to be perfect and they want you to hit the ground running and go and do the job and know everything about data centers. Anyway, so I managed to find, through the network, I managed to find the opportunity how to squeeze in. Just about, again, making step backs, taking a slight career cut. I went to engineering company rather than project management company, and I went to develop project management. So I took some sacrifices just to get my step through the door. And it worked again. So I'm 3 years in the data center industry. We're doing high-tech projects. I use all my engineering knowledge and trying to understand engineers, architects. Right now, we're building massive project in France, and then I use all my knowledge I get in residential development about the groundworks and all the distribution of services, logistics, and so on. So transferable skills, that's another takeaway. The fact that I did residential project didn't stop me using all of this experience to build data center project, because apparently like our team know everything about the systems, but they didn't know about like site-wide infrastructure. So I brought those knowledge. So think about your transferable skills. They're all valuable. So I continue my career in endurance, and I started doing public events, public speaking since last year. For me, it's also career development. I haven't done public speaking in English until October last year. So for me, it's one of my first few. And then last year I also decided to launch my practice of being a career mentor, because people come to me a lot and asking for advice, so I thought I would start something structured. So I'm really hoping to talk to Susan and sharing some, how did she do it. So that's very representative of what Helena showed, and this is from first hand, that's totally my life. Do you have any questions here before I move on? Very briefly about career in construction. I think you've probably been introduced by Mace. It's one of the biggest sectors in an economy. You will see the construction, and I pointed out real estate as well, because everything about real estate is, for me, it's, in my world, it's also construction, because it has to be maintained, and it comes together with construction, usually real estate and construction. So it takes big chunk of the economy, so the different initiative fundings and different support is available. It's very lively and active industry. I think you can take a picture if you like, but the main point here is growing industry. The number of job places increasing every year, and then the places are not just the site places, they're also a lot of office work. It's very diverse environment, which is growing. In terms of what construction is, if I ask you, when I say I work in construction, what do you think? What do you immediately think of what it is to work in construction? Just first thing that comes to your mind. Builder. Okay. Well, I'm not a builder. Let me put it this way. So. On the construction field itself, yeah, okay, yeah. So I have to tell people I'm not painting and I'm not doing the bricklaying and none of those. So when we talk about construction and about what it is, we see it in the building. It's been constructed, it's being maintained. Engineers coming in here. You pass and you see residential properties being built, hospitals being built. You are on your phone. There is a data center that processes your data. It's also being built. To build it, you need to design it. After you build it, you need to maintain it, you need to occupy it. So construction is everywhere. It's either starting, or it's in the middle, or it's already in occupation. So everything that we live in or we operate has ever been in construction one day, or will be in construction when it's deconstructed, let's say. So shopping centers and so on. So when we talk about construction, let's assume that we decided to embark on construction journey. So if the client decided to invest in the property, they need to acquire it, yeah? So to acquire a building is almost the same as you go and acquire a thing. There is a market for it, yeah? So there is a team of people working who can help you sell and buy. So there are agents, there is land, there is assets, and there are multiple people working on acquisition point, yeah? So for example, right now I'm working with a team of lawyers who are agreeing the construction contract or services contract. It's part of construction industry and we're acquiring a piece of land. So when piece of land is acquired, there is a whole team of business development people who are thinking what to build, how to make the business case, and it's all construction and property related. So back to the point about opportunities and in the industry and what professions are there, there will be professionals in acquisition stage, there will be professionals in design stage. So I'm working for engineering firm, we're doing projects, specifically how to design different buildings. There is a whole industry on the council side who approves the project, so there is a whole administrative procedure and whole layer of specialists who work for councils and different authority to authorize the project to be constructed. Then you have whole construction, as we all just discussed, that it needs to be built, so there is a construction team. Mace is a construction company. They will be on site, they will be doing the works, they will be employing manual laborers and engineers on site. But once you finish construction, you need to occupy it. So there is another team that brings people into the building. After building is occupied, you have a lifetime of the building. So all your air conditioning, all your toilets, everything in the building for you to be there is maintained and operable. It's the same people who built it, they're just maintaining it. And the same people who are doing maintenance is the same project managers, the same quantity surveyors, same lawyers. So it all rotates. And at the end of the project, when let's say the building gets old, it either needs to be refurbished or it needs to be demolished. That's also part of construction. So there is another whole lot of people working on demolition or refurbishment or another business case, how to make it, how to change it. Why I'm saying this is to say that construction industry is huge and you can find your place there, not being on the construction side, and maybe the construction side is actually maybe 30% of the construction industry itself. So if you have questions about can I fit, come and ask me and I will be able to share this with you. This is just a snapshot of this morning from the website Indeed on the salaries. This is very average, so I think in London they're a bit higher, and in rural UK usually salaries go lower. But again, there is I think that the industry pays well, and the more technically difficult it is, the salaries usually go higher. That's the reason why I went back to engineering as well. So for me, top 5 tips how to succeed. It's male-dominated environment, so it comes with pros and cons. I would say the main 5 things I would ask you to consider is the first thing in the construction industry and in design, what's important is to do your job well. So this is like a basics. Be reliable. When people can rely on you, they value you, because the industry fast-paced, it's moving. Even if you do a small job, do it well. Don't try to go big. Start small, be reliable, and you will move. Opportunities will come to you when people can trust you. It's important to know the environment you work in, the market. Construction industry in the UK is very, very well established. It's very, very well documented, regulated, and then it's quite easy to navigate once you know all the processes, procedures, and it's easy to do your job because it's actually, most of the jobs has prescriptions, what you need to do, you just need to find it. And then know what you're good at. Like, people come to me and they know I'm the person who can make things done. I'm not claiming being an engineer or anything else, but I know how to get things done because I'm a project manager. But there are people who are good at people or talking or engineering or solutions or whatever. So everyone have different skill set. Don't try to be everything. Know what you're good at, and then your reputation will be built around it. And it's good to specialize because there's so many different niches. So even if you're a specialist in residential or you're a specialist in the air conditioning, it's good to be known for something. So just pick that thing that you really like and that you're good at, and then it will kind of that's where your brand maybe, let's say, starting. I notice opportunities doesn't come to your table. Well, they never came to my table. No one came to me ever and said, do you want to do this and this? So hear them. You need to be vigilant. You need to hear if there's a gap, someone leaving, or maybe there is a problem and no one wants to solve it. So step in, take the chair and say, listen, shall I try? No one died from trying to resolve the problem and not failing or succeeding, but quite a lot I see that there are lots of problems and no one wants to touch them. So trust me, in the UK, there are plenty of problems who no one wants to touch. So if you see a problem, try to resolve it. Your boss will thank you for that, most likely, in my experience. And communication is key. If you do not communicate, no one knows how you are, what you're doing. It goes both ways for good things and also challenging things. If you experience problem, we're all people around. I find that people I work with are very, very humane and very understanding. Just come to them and talk to them. Say, listen, I need help here, or I don't understand here. This is friendly environment. I think sitting and everyone have worries. Everyone are concerned. Even the most confident guys, they're worried. And the guys probably worried even more because they don't want to let out that they're confident, or they don't know, or they don't understand. So I would just say communicate, whatever it's good or bad, and stay calm. And I think you'll find great opportunities in the industry if you decided to pursue it. I think that's it from me today.
So much, Tatiana. That's absolutely wonderful. Thank you for sharing your insights.
You're welcome.
Tatiana is going
Thank you
to
so much.
do some One of the things that I found was that Mace Construction immediately wanted to work with Mothers Into Work. And they said that they had one opportunity for training, that became 2. And then when we went for our visit, that became 6. So that's the start, hopefully, of many wonderful opportunities. And I thought to myself, when I used to go, and I've been contacting many corporate companies, like Wilmot Dixon, I went to see them, I've spoken to Glencar, I've spoken to Equans, I mean the biggest names I've spoken to. And one of the things that I've learned is there's a reason why they are so keen to work with mothers and women. It's because they have to get their workforce to be 50% women and 50% men. It's called gender parity targets. And at the moment, some of the smaller companies have got 2% women, or even the best ones have got 30% women. And the other thing I found out was, when I spoke to Mace, was that they said to me, don't worry about if the mums don't have a degree in construction, it's okay. I was like, what? How can this be? You know, I thought you had to have a degree in construction. No, you don't. It's fine. And in fact, they've picked 6 of our candidates for training right across London, and a lot of those women have never, ever, ever worked in the construction industry because it's about your transferable skills. So there's a problem that needs to be fixed, which is we need to have 50% gender parity targets, 50% women by 2040 and 50% men. And right now, some companies have got 2%, 11%, 20%, 30%. We've got some massive, wonderful opportunities there. And when Mace flagged up their careers, we just looked at them and we went, wow, these are amazing, all these jobs. So I think what we need to do is think about, if you see a job, and it might be the construction industry or somewhere else, and Dr. Doering and I were talking about this, how you can identify your route and map it and go backwards from that. So you look at the job and you go, wow, that's amazing, I really want that job. How do you get something like that? What's the route? What does that journey look like? Because no one really tells you that kind of stuff, and we need to know that kind of stuff, because when we look at things, we need to go, right, how are we going to get that? Because that's very important. So I'm going to zip through this presentation, please, if we could just have this, because I don't want to spend too much time, and it's, is it this one down here? So we've done the introductions. So we were talking, Dr. Doering and I, and what we said was that we really think, and Tatiana's mentioned it, Dr. Doering's mentioned it today, think about your transferable skills. So the first thing you've got to do is think about your interests. What is it that you're really interested in doing? And in fact, I had a really interesting meeting with a CEO of a top company, and one of his exercises that he does with his bond building, team building activities with his groups, he puts them in a forest and he says, right, imagine your ideal job. What is it you would really like to do? And that's what I would like you to think about. What is your ideal job? And he said the reason he does that is because once you know what someone's ideal job is, then you can think about making their talents come out to fit that job and what skills they need. And if you're an employer, you can then start thinking about what skills do we need to make this person have so they can do their ideal job. Because if they want that job, they're going to need these skills. So that's the thing, is identify your interests. What is your ideal job? What is it you would really like to do? What do you think you're good at? And really be creative, because when you are motivated by something, you're going to be really driven and you're going to be good at it. It's like my job. I mean, I came from a teaching background. I became a trainer. I always wanted to do training. If I wasn't interested in my job, I would not be able to do it. I do it every day because I love what I do. And it is really important that you enjoy your job. Right, so you have to think about your interests. And then the next thing you have to think about is your skills. Because being a mom, or coming from, you're been doing a different job at home, raising children for many years, people think, even I used to think, I haven't got any skills. And I had to have people say to me, Farzana, you've just run a clinic in Harley Street for 5 years. You've been there, you've done it, you've got these skills. But when we're doing it ourselves, we kind of like, it's hard for us to recognize what our skills are. And I would say to you that you really think about the skills. So if you're at home, are you an organizer? you're good at multitasking, you are good at prioritizing what needs to be done. There's so many skills. You're a good communicator, you can deal with crises. When you've got screaming children, it's you are really good at dealing with crises. So think about your transferable skills and then think about your chosen fields. And I've got this from Dr. Susan Doering's book, where Dr. Doering has identified the fields. That means whether is it the construction industry, is it retail, is it accounting, is it law? Where do you want to go? Think about which sector you want to go in. So that's the first thing. Your interests, your goals, your transferable skills, and your fields. That's step one, okay? Step two is think about your challenges. So your challenges, I don't know, what kind of things might they be, for example? What challenges might you have? Sorry? Level of English, that's pardon? New community, yeah, brilliant. Anybody else? What kind of challenges? Absolutely. Self-confidence, lack of self-confidence. Anything else? What challenges? Problems with housing, money, problems with money, problems with... Pardon? Understanding the market. There's so many challenges that welcome. Please come in and join us. Thank you. There's so many challenges that we have, and I think it's really important to have a piece of paper, because when you're in the middle of doing all your challenges, everything is all on top of you. It's this thing, that thing, this thing, that thing. And sometimes it's really good to stand back and go, right, what are my challenges? And write them down. Because when you write them down, you are actually able, could we have the screen again, please? When you write them down, you're actually able to understand how you can deal with them. So you write them down, think about your challenges, and then you say, look, with time, my challenges are my children. And then you can start thinking, I need to prioritize my time. I need to make 1 hour a day to focus on my career, or even 20 minutes a day to focus on my career. My challenges are, I don't feel I'm confident enough, so I need to think about, how do I improve my confidence? Do I need a better network of other people around me that is going to help me to be more confident? Maybe I need a mentor. And then when you start to think about your challenges and how you're going to deal with them, that's when you can start to move forward. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is think about drawing your life on a piece of paper, yourself now, where you are, your picture of yourself, everything around you in your life. Draw on the other side of the paper where you want to be. What do you see your dreams as in your life? If you had your ideal job, what would you like in your life? You want your home, your children, what kind of career do you want? Do you want time? Do you want money? Is it that you really want to make a difference? Or is it that you just, you want a lot of, a career that gives you a lot of prestige? Is it that you want a career that gives you a lot of money? Or do you value your time more? Think about what you want in your life. And then once you have those two things, you can start drawing your map and thinking about your challenges and how you're going to overcome them. Does that make sense? Yeah? And when we think about our challenges, it's quite interesting if we think about things like using metaphors. Does anyone understand what a metaphor is, or can anyone? Well, metaphor, yes, go on. So, metaphor is Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, in different words. So for yeah, like a picture. Perfect. Like a picture. Yes. Perfect. So like, you know, your challenges might be mountains. Your resilience might be the family of people that you want around you, your mentors, your family, your friends, your networks. Your networks might help you to get from where you are to where you want to be. That could be a bridge. And then all the things you don't want in your life, like a big swamp, is going to sink you and make you drown. That can be like a river or a swamp. And this is going to be things like not feeling confident, having negative people around you, having, you know, your challenges. They can go all in that swamp. And once you draw them in there, then you go, right, I'm going to avoid anyone who's negative. I'm not going to have negative people in my life. I only want to really focus on positive people, because I need to avoid all these swamps that are going to drag me down. People telling me I can't do it, this lack of self-confidence, this lack of doubt. These are the things I'm going to avoid. So once you draw your map and you've identified your challenges, you've thought about your skills, you've thought about your dreams and aspirations, you can then start mapping and being in control of taking your life on that journey. Because I know from being a mum, when I was in the middle of doing all of that, I couldn't even think straight. It's so much stuff that is on top of you. The kids, a new country, new culture, money, housing, everything is so much stuff. It's so overwhelming. So it's really good. One strategy is to map it all out onto a piece of paper. Right, so the next slide is, I think networks are very important. When I started Mothers Into Work and I met Dr. Doering last year at her book launch, and I said to Dr. Doering, I said, I really want to start Mothers Into Work. And it was in Hatchards in Piccadilly. And I said, I really want to do this, and I want to change a lot of people's lives, and I want it to be a national organisation. And you were so supportive, and you said that you would love to help me, and I'm very grateful for that. And the networks are very, very important, because when we network, and that's one example of myself networking and reaching out to Susan, and Susan has come here to talk to all of us. Our networks make us stronger. When I was at the conference last year, at the Inspiring Women in Technology conference, and I met Tatiana last year, and I was just talking when there was a whole bunch of women, and Tatiana said to me, you know what? Us women, we really need to stick together, because sometimes not all the men understand our challenges. And she said, you know, I'm really interested in meeting you. And I went and met Tatiana at her workplace. It took me a few months, but I did get there. I was there for a good 4 hours. And then we had many conversations, and now here she is. So networks, going out and meeting people, attending events, joining network groups, thinking about your community, making friendships amongst yourselves, having good communication channels, they are so important. And it's important to list them. On your map, draw a list of your networks. Use the Google and use internet to do some research on finding out which are the good networks for your chosen talent or your career that you want to do. If you're interested in construction, Google careers in construction and networking events in construction. Do it on Google. Come up with a list of top 5. Write them down on your piece of paper and then look at each one and find the events. Find the events and then book and go. That's the way to do it. And networks are very, very important. Work experience. Tatiana mentioned that nobody's career is linear. And that was an excellent point, because when we do our careers, if we think that our first job is going to be top CEO of a wonderful company, how many top CEOs got there straight away? You know, it took backwards, forwards, step back, step forwards. You know, some things didn't work, they went bust, they had to start again. That's how our careers are. And that's why work experience is so important. Never think that if you're doing work experience, it's not important and you're not being paid, because what you're doing is you are always learning, and learning always, always, always pays. It always pays to learn, always, because once you've learnt something, no one can take it away from you. And if you have work experience, you can put that on your CV and make it look really strong. If you have a good work experience, a good reference, you've learned a lot of things and you're stronger. So strengthen your CV and think about improving your skills. That's what work experience does. It's not something that has no value. Work experience has a lot of value. And I remember when Susan and I spoke after your book launch and we met for a coffee, and you said to me, Farzana, you know what, you've got this great idea, but what carries the greatest value? And you did say to me, and you correctly advised me, that it was the work experience. That has got the greatest value, and that's something that I've really taken on board, and I really believe that it's important and it's a core part of Mothers into Work. There's lots of people can stand at the front and say to you, if you want to do a good CV, this is how you write it. This is how you do an interview skill. This is, you know, that's easy. It's easy to stand in an audience and go, how do you do an interview? How do you do CV? The hard bit is the bit that makes the difference. That's the work experience. So take the work experience if you can, because it will help you so much. And that's, Tatiana mentioned actually that companies only want people with experience. So, mapping, mentoring, and we've got 2 expert mentors here. We've got Dr. Doering, who's got a whole career in mentoring, and Tatiana as well, who's a specialist in the mentor in the construction industry. Mentors are very, very important because they can sit with you and help you and talk to you and show you the map of how to get there, improve your confidence, help you to understand your skills, give you inside information about how to get into these big companies. And that's why they're so important. Can we have the next slide, please? I'm not going to touch it, just in case. So, just very quickly, think about your interests, a resume. Think about what motivates you. Think about your transferable skills. Think about networks. For me, the Chambers of Commerce, like the Business Networking Institute, the London Chambers of Commerce, the Federation of Small Businesses, I think that one is £180 to join, and you get loads of free courses on there. You get how to set up a business, you get free legal advice, you get contracts, you get all kinds of things on there. And a lot of their courses are accredited because you want accredited courses. So think about those types of networks like the Federation of Small Businesses. Explore your a local council. For me, the London Chamber of Commerce and the Kensington Chamber of Commerce were instrumental for me as a woman entrepreneur in opening up my networks and helping this organisation, which is Mothers Into Work, to grow. So I really do believe in that. Like I said to you, use Google, look at apps like Eventbrite, go to the exhibitions, look at free exhibitions like Olympia, Excel, what's on. There is going to be a room full of 100 companies at least there. Just go at 10 o'clock, spend a couple of hours, network, have a LinkedIn account with a QR code and go and talk to people. Find out what's going on. Be aware of, as Tatiana said, what the jobs are, what's happening in the industries. Talk to people. And the events like Excel, they have expert panels, sort of discussions. You can sit and join in, and that gets you connected into the world of work. So think about Olympia, Excel, using apps like Eventbrite. Don't just go to one network. Try it once, twice. I don't know, sorry. And do think about volunteering places like Dr. Doering and I looked at Tent. Tent do 1 hour of mentoring with top companies once a month for 6 months. So you get 6 hours over 6 months, and especially for people who are refugees. So that's good. Like, they've got corporations like Bank of America. They've got 70 corporates that offer mentoring. That is amazing, amazing to get that kind of thing. Think about getting your work experience in your references. So here's some work experience. We've said Tent. Dr. Doering and I had a meeting and we looked at NCVO, which is local networks, and you can find local volunteering opportunities there. Tent will give you mentoring, and using LinkedIn as well. I cannot stress how important LinkedIn is. Has anyone got any questions at this point?
What is that?
Tent is an organisation that supports the community of refugees worldwide, and it offers free mentoring with 70 top national, international corporate organisations, including Bank of America. So if you need mentoring, get in touch with me and I will do a referral across to Tent and I can see what we can do for you. And it's 1 hour a month with a mentor over 6 months. They might even be able to support you with a reference after 6 months because they've gotten to know you. So that's really nice. And you get to find out about what their organisation is, and they support you in helping you with your career. Any other questions at this point?
Only for women?
Yes. Tent. Is it not only for women? No. Yes. Oh, okay. It's not only for women. Any other questions? Yes.
What kind of volunteer organization?
We had a look. They've all kinds of different things. Huge variety of volunteering opportunities. Massive. You'd have to Google it and have a look. Google volunteering and do think about getting work experience and having a mentor. Right. Right. So we talked about metaphors, thinking about feathers of knowledge and wisdom. What are your values? Which things are really important to you? And which things do you want to avoid? And who do you need in your circle of community? For me, my friendships are very important. So, I know we touched on this in the beginning. Dr. Doering mentioned about community and what's really important. So just want to talk about briefly, think about what is really important to you to help you be resilient, because I think these things are really important. Is it your values? Is it being courageous? Is it self-confidence, family relationships, self-beliefs? What things are going to really help you to keep you going? For me, I know that doing this, Mothers into Work, my belief in God is my greatest, I would say, resilience. It really helps me when I'm in an unknown situation, which is pretty much all of the time. I just think God is going to look after me, and it's my belief in God that really supports and keeps me strong and helps to keep me going and drives me through all the uncertainty. And different people have different things that make them resilient, and you know, I would really stress, and I think it's very important, you identify what is important to you and you lean on that when it becomes difficult, because that's going to keep you going on the journey. Anybody got anything to say about that they'd like to add in terms of resilience, what they find is helpful to them in terms of being resilient?
Pretty much all of that you mentioned on the slides. It's much important, really. Like, for each person, it's individual, as you told.
Yes.
But most of them are effective.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they are. Especially if you've come from another country and you've had to leave your country. You know, the community networks, the friendships, the confidence, the making the connections is so important to helping you to be resilient. And your resilience is very important to keep you moving forwards. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go off into different groups. I know actually we were all going to do an activity which is, I'm going to hand over to Dr. Doering. And yes, I think that's a good idea. I think, shall we have a break now, and then we can go on to stretch our legs and have a coffee? And 10 minutes? 10 minutes, and then we can go on to the next, because I know Dr. Doering's prepared a special activity with Tatiana, and then we've got this. So we've got three different things that we can be getting on with. So what I'd planned was for people to map their career, but we've got this activity as well. Yes, yeah. So we can do your one first. I think that would be really nice, and then let people chill and do. Yeah. Okay. Cool. 10 minutes. Lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We will back in 10 minutes.
Facework Ukraine is a training program which helps Ukrainian families in South London to face work.
We focus on helping people grow their existing skills and understanding the cultural, legal and social context of work here in
Facework
the UK,
Ukraine
as
is
well
a
as
training
inviting
program which
guests and
helps
helping
Ukrainian families in
students
South
really
London
build
to
their professional
face work.
network. We focus on helping people grow their existing skills and understanding the cultural, legal and social
This has
context
involved
of
Ukrainians
work here
refugees
in the
translate
UK,
our
as well as inviting guests
helps
and
Ukrainian
helping
families in
and
South
in
London
doing
to
this have learned vital
heard about it in Ukraine. So for me it was absolutely new and I found so useful because it helps me to build, to develop my self-confidence.
Yeah. You've done such a great job at bringing people together and marketing it. And then we asked you to deliver a training session. You'd never done a training session like that before. What was it about?
Firstly, I was very scared, but then I think, oh,
Yeah.
it's great.
You've done such a great job at bringing people together and marketing it.
Teach
And then we
once,
asked you
don't
to
twice.
deliver a training session. You'd never done a training
What makes
session
our
like that before.
approach
What was it
unique is that we
about?
have an emphasis on
Firstly,
real-world
I-
learning. Yes, this is a course, but it's a Facework course which we run in our community Facework workspaces. This gives us a chance to introduce learners to some of our 300 members who really love giving back and are now beginning to mentor and support the refugees. This is a course, but it's meeting up with them, talking to them in many of our training workspaces. This gives us a chance to introduce learners to some of our 300 members who really love giving back and are now beginning to mentor and support the refugees. This is a course, but it's meeting up with them, talking to them in many of our training workspaces. This gives us a chance to introduce learners to some of our 300 members who really love giving back and are now beginning to mentor and support the refugees. This is a course, but it's meeting up with them, talking to them in many of our training workspaces. So they really appreciate simply the opportunity to ask questions, ask professionals how they got into work, what were their challenges. Sometimes, just the success is about serendipity, bringing people to the right place at the right time with the right attitude. And that's a lot of how they got into work, what were their challenges. Sometimes, just the success is about serendipity, bringing people to the right place at the right time with the right attitude. And that's a lot of how they got into work, what were their challenges. Sometimes, just the success is about serendipity, bringing people to the right place at the right time with the right attitude. And that's a lot of how they got into work, what were their challenges. Sometimes, just the success is about serendipity, bringing people to the right place at the right time with the right attitude. And that's a lot of how they got into work, what were their challenges. Sometimes, just the success is about serendipity, bringing people to the right place at the right time with the right attitude.
Does this disturb the sound?
Yes, we have sound.
Yes, no. Does this disturb the sound? Does it?
No.
It's okay. All right. Good. So, a couple of things that came out of the first half of our meeting event workshop. One thing that is really, really important, and Farzana said it, but I'd like to repeat it. What is really important is from now on, you take control. You take control of your career. Whatever's going to happen from now on, you're in charge. And you're going to rally all the resources that you need. And you're going to find bridges, and you're going to find networks. This is already a great network, but you're going to find more networks. So I think that was something that I really wanted to say. Taking control. You have to be in charge of yourself. You can listen to people, you can listen to advice, but then make a decision, make a judgment. Am I going to take this advice? Is it the right advice for me? Really, really important. So what I'd like to do with you now, I'm going to keep one for myself, and I'm going to ask you to take one each, sort of that side of the room, sort of that side of the room. Okay, so we're actually going to do a little bit of an exercise. The sort of thing that I would do to start off with. I mean, this is very compressed, but you know, it's a good introduction. Who are you? All those, you know, those 5 buckets. What are you? What are you good at? What are you interested in? What are your transferable skills and your strengths? And what I've given you here is a little bit of a blueprint with some ideas. And when it says e.g., that means for example. And it really only means for example. You don't have to choose one of those. You may have experience. I'm so sorry. Do we have a spare one? How did they go round? Does everybody got one? A few more? Do we have any left over? Do we have any left over? We don't have any left over. We do have one left over. Right, okay. And the way I'd like you to do this is I would like you, please don't start yet. I would like you to turn to your neighbour, and I hope that we can work in pairs. If for some reason it doesn't work, then find a third person, right, if there's one person left over. Or we'll get Helena to work with you, right? Thank you. So really, it's about trying to fill this in with your partner. So this is a little bit of what we like to call peer coaching, right? You can prompt each other, right? You can say, well, what does that mean? Well, what did you really do? Well, now give me some more detail. I don't understand, right? That's really important. I don't understand. You know so much about yourself. It's always self-evident, right? You think to yourself, well, I don't have any transferable skills. I don't know what to say. Well, then your partner can help you with the right kind of questions. You will see that this works very well, right? So your name, I don't know whether you all know each other. Perhaps you do. Well, that's fine, and you've got your name here, but anyway. And sort of what work experience do you have? What area of work, what field of work is your experience in? We've heard that you may move out of that area. However, it's good to know, as Tatiana explained very well, work experience in engineering. That's what she studied and that's what she did, right, to start off with. But then she progressed using the transferable skills that she had gained over the years. That's what we can learn to market, if you like. You're selling yourself. However, it's always good to know my qualifications are in such and such. They're in accounting, they're in law, they're in engineering, they're in banking, whatever they are, right? But what else can I do, right? So it's also good to know what organizations did you work with. We want to learn about you. Now, this exercise is fundamental to selling yourself, to putting yourself out there, to being able to talk about yourself to other people. And this is the first opportunity. You're going to do it with one partner, somebody who is very much in the same boat as yourself, same kind of situation. I would, however, ask you to talk English, right? If you don't have a word, then say it in Ukrainian, and perhaps your partner can say it in English, or one of us can help. We've got a few, Halina, right? The other young lady has disappeared, has she? Several people who speak, yes, great. Okay, so then talk about your skills. And then, really important, as Farzana said, talk about what you're interested in. What do you like doing, right? Because we will then discover that what you're passionate about, what you really love doing, we may find a nugget, a piece of gold in there that we can use. We can say, she's done a lot of horse riding. Gosh, think of all the transferable skills to be a horse rider. You've got to be very meticulous. You've got to go and clean the horse every morning. You've got to go and stable the horse. You've got to plan. You've got to organize, right? And working with animals is something that's really, really helpful, right? Caring. We'll talk a little bit later about opportunities, for example, volunteering. Why did Farzana suggest that perhaps you get some work experience in volunteering? Okay, you're not going to earn any money, but for that year, you will gain work experience, or 6 months, or whatever it is. That could be very, very useful and look very good on a CV. Okay, and then perhaps there's something else that you'd like us to know about you. Questions. Who has got a good question to ask?
What if we have work experience in a different area?
Fine. Put that down.
We can just list here.
Absolutely. Lists are good.
So we need to discuss.
Well, it's a nice idea if you make a few notes for yourself, but you don't have to. I do suggest you make a few notes, but mainly discuss. Okay? I'm going to give you, what shall we give them, Farzana? How much time? Sorry?
5 minutes, is that enough?
5 is not, is it? No. Shall we say 10 minutes for the discussion, and we'll see how it goes. Yes, for one person. Okay. And then we'll see how it goes. If you find that you've finished before, fine, switch over, okay? And I'll check in with you. Okay. Clear? Yeah. Yes? Please, yes, question. A good question.
So we must write about experience in Ukraine or in England?
Either, both. Both. Everything. Everything. Okay? Clear? Does anybody not have a partner? Please find a partner to work with now. Please raise your hand if you haven't got anybody to work with. Well, you need to, who are you working with? Okay, I want you to ask questions. You're not sitting writing, you're talking. You are not sitting writing, you are talking to each other. Please talk to each other. I want you to articulate. I want you to ask questions and answer them. Your peer coaching here. Who are you working with?
As electromechanic.
No, who are you working with now? I asked, right, so we've got somebody working on her own. Can I ask you to go and work with her? We need a pair. Thank you. Dies geht nicht. Please don't just write, please talk to each other. Please talk to each other, don't just write. Please.
I'm explaining Nadir that my favorite name is Nadir because it's my mother's name.
That is a lovely name.
Yes, Nadir is the hope.
Ah, wonderful. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's great. Yes, but what in? But that's fine. Organisation, you put self-employed. Fine. Well, what area? What kind of work?
It's two kind of jobs because firstly I was like a real estate agent.
Right. Great. Good. Real estate.
Yes, real estate agent, and then I decided to transfer my career because I have been studying English and I was so sorry that I have no space for using my English.
Right.
And I decided to put it into teaching.
Okay. Very good. So 2 areas.
Yes.
Good.
2 areas.
Good. Yep. Real estate and teaching. Good.
First was translation.
Okay, real estate and translation. Very good. Excellent. Good. 2 wonderful areas.
But what about skills?
I don't know. Talk to each other about your skills. What sort of things are you good at? What did you need to be a good real estate agent? What sort? Okay. Yeah, write it down. Talk to her. Talk to her. Talk to her. How are you getting on? How are you getting? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. We try and switch off our phones when we're in a workshop. It's yes.
I thought it is important, but he just did you understand that some university invited me to study.
Oh, right.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
well, very important. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. I come back. Yes.
I just try to. Is it enough?
You have to ask your partner.
Yeah.
Does she understand? She.
Yeah, she asked me. She asked me about.
It's enough?
No.
Do you understand everything that?
I just main goal to understand what I need.
Yes. She needs to understand what you did, but not just read. You need to talk about it. I wanted to talk about the, yeah, I wanted to talk, I wanted to give, okay, can I just have your attention for 1 minute? Can I have your attention for 1 minute? 30 seconds. Can I have your attention for 30 seconds? Some of you here are actually interested in working in the construction industry, or you have worked in the construction industry. Is that correct? Who are the people who have worked in the construction industry? Can I have your attention, please? Who are the people who have worked or are interested in working in the construction industry? 1, 2, 4. Could you, so you've got special help from Tatiana. So I suggest you go, where were you sitting, Tatiana? In the corner over there. Sit. You going over there? Okay. So you've lost a partner. More people going in the I'm sorry?
10 minutes already.
Yes, 10 minutes. Switch over, switch over, switch over. Are you interested in the construction industry?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. We've suddenly got 10 over there. Okay, fine. Fine. So please make sure that you've switched over. Please make sure that you've switched over.
have experience in remodeling flats and offices?
Yes.
Or how is
Yeah.
it in English?
That's
For
fine.
example, when you
Yeah.
buy
Yeah.
a flat there without
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
very old, and
Perfect.
do the construction
Yeah.
from the
Yeah, that's
from
fine.
the ground.
Remodeling, yeah.
Remodeling.
Yeah, perfect. Very good. You can also use the word renovation.
Renovation, yes, it would be better.
Well,
renovation of the property.
Yeah.
The property.
But remodeling works as well because it gives it another layer, actually. It's another level, remodeling.
It's like for my home when
Yes.
I change something. But what word did you use?
Renovation.
Renovation. Because when you start cleaning everything, taking out everything,
Yeah.
and put just leave the walls.
Yes.
Main
Yes.
walls,
Yes. Yes.
not not middle walls,
No.
but
No.
and build another walls
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And I like this.
Remodeling, renovation, both words can be used. It's good to use both, actually. Right?
Renovation and remodeling.
Yes.
And refurnishing.
No. That is refurbishing is much more superficial. If you refurbish, you change the wallpaper, you put in new lights, you buy a new sofa. That's refurbishing.
Yeah. With something very simple.
Yes.
And not interesting.
Great. So 1 more minute, everybody. That clock's not the same as that clock. I didn't get around there.
Yeah, I just suggested because I decided it's very good market.
How did you get on?
It's experience before.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Previously worked.
In the past.
In the past, yeah.
Worked with it's like company.
Yeah, I've written that down. I
I
wrote that
previously
down.
worked with
It's like company.
no,
what
with
Type and
type.
name of
of
organization. Organization, company, firm, or if you work
customers,
yes,
family,
yes,
and,
yes, exactly.
Type my my employer.
Yes, yes. Or if you were self-employed, right?
Yes.
And what type of organization? Was it a small? Was it yes or medium? Yes, 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 yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Right?
I previously
was
worked
size, location, how many employees. Okay.
I previously worked with I was head of NGO.
Right. Small NGO, medium-sized NGO, big NGO.
I think small.
3 people, 5 people, 10 people.
20.
20, medium-sized. Medium-sized, yeah.
It's very good question.
Yeah. You really need to dig deep, right, to get some more detail. And I will explain why we need as much detail as this.
Talk about
Yes,
myself.
yes, yes, for everybody.
To sell
Yes,
myself.
yes, yeah. But you can start by saying all of this.
Yeah.
You know? You start by saying all this. This is what needs to be on the CV, and then we need to think about where do you want to go? What are you interested in? All right?
I was
Sorry.
Yes.
So, I very strange person. Sorry. Because
I'm not sure I believe that.
I have a lot of experience
Right.
and education and very different.
Very varied.
Very, yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
It's difficult for me.
Yes.
Because,
Yes.
There I, wow. Where my way?
It's difficult to choose
Yeah.
someone. To choose someone.
Yeah. Choose. It's difficult for me now. Choose.
So
my
that's
way.
why
My
the next
age
exercise.
plus
No, don't
different-
don't talk to me about age. Don't talk to me about age. I changed jobs completely at 53. Okay? Okay. Don't tell me anything about age. It's all up to you. You're in control. You have, I'm quite sure, value. Your knowledge, your skills, your experience is valuable. And you need to market that, right? It's all about marketing. It's all about selling. It's all about, and here you have to sell ourselves. And most of us are not good at it. But we can get better. That's the good news. Okay, right. I'm going to ask you to stop your conversations. Otherwise, we won't do the other. We won't have time to do the next. Right? So, right. Let's think about this as at least a beginning. Yes? How did that go? Let me have some feedback. Nice. What was nice about it? Good. Yes.
And I don't find some answer for last question.
You didn't find an answer for the last question. That is really important to know. It's important to know about yourself that you haven't got anything that you want to put there. So I will give you time to do that, okay? Again, it's a work in progress. This sort of exercise is something that I do with clients, coaching clients, over a period of time. I don't do it one session. We talk about it and then I say, go away, fill it in, right? You'll find the exercise in my book. Yeah, Anna.
I have an idea regarding last question as well.
Yes?
Because I mentioned my hobbies or interests, which I had at the moment, one before.
Yeah.
For last one, I got an idea that I can mention what I'm interested in.
Yes.
You know, like if you speak about work,
Yes.
For example, for me, I was twice, and I would like to play more in golf. Yeah, maybe I can,
Great.
during networking,
Great.
mention it. You know, like
Absolutely.
people don't know, but I want to go to
Lovely, lovely,
you can use
lovely.
the last one as well.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
I want to find.
Great idea. Thank you. Yeah. So I think what we've done now is laid a foundation for being able to talk about yourself, right? And this is really important because you're going to have to talk about yourself. At these networking events, at these conferences, people walk up to you and say, "Oh, Ksenia, how lovely to meet you. Tell me about yourself," right? And then we need, and you can prepare this, just to a large extent you can prepare it. It's called technically an elevator pitch. And this means that you get in the ground floor of an elevator, and I meet Ksenia and I say, "I haven't seen you before. Tell me about yourself." And by the time we get to the 15th floor, I know all about her, right? So practice. Write your elevator's pitch, and then go and find an elevator and see if you can do it up to the 15th or the 20th floor, okay? Doesn't really matter. If it's a little bit longer, it's fine. But that's the idea, that you are ready to talk about yourself. And of course, there will be different permutations, there will be different contexts in which you need to talk more about yourself. And from what you've done today, you will be able to think about the future. And that's actually what Farzana is going to do with you now. Yes. Okay? Right.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Thank you. That was
Once more.
fantastic.
It's okay.
Right. So what we're going to do next, if I could just have your attention. Thank you. Oops. Oh, thank you so much. Lovely. Great. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do our road mapping of our career. Okay? And I think what we should do is start with where we want to be in the future. So I want everybody to close your eyes. Close your eyes for a second, and I want you to imagine and think about what you would like in your life, in your career in the future. So how do you want to be? What kind of things do you want to see in your life? Do you want to be very rich, successful? Do you want to have your own business? Do you want to be working for somebody? Do you want to have a lot of time? Is it success? What is it that you see? So just close your eyes for 10 seconds and have an image of where you see yourself. And then we're going to ask people what they see. Wonderful. Right. Are we ready? Would anybody like to come and stand at the front and share with us how they would like to see themselves in the future with their lives? Or would anybody like to volunteer? Don't be shy. It's your dreams, it's your ambitions, it's how you want to be. It's absolutely fine. I've got the most outrageous ambitions and dreams. It's incredible. So I can't share them because it's too embarrassing, but I think, if you've got things that are wildly ambitious, please feel free to share them. And if they're not wildly ambitious, it doesn't matter. Who would like to say where they see themselves? What image did you have in your head? Anybody want to share? Go for it. Go on. What did you see? What did you see? What did you see? How did you see? What did you see?
I've got 2 kids, so of course my future.
Yes. How did you see?
With my children.
Yeah.
And so I see a spacious and bright house.
Yes.
Full of lights and scents of flowers. My 2 kids and my husband, hopefully, because he's not here.
Yeah.
What can I say? I can describe my feelings. I feel like I am in harmony. That's really important to me.
Yeah.
And maybe the feelings of the comfort when I'm in peace with myself, so I feel the peace inside me. That's all.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's beautiful. Anybody else like to share how what picture they had in their head? That's beautiful. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. Anyone else want to share? Yes?
Sorry, my English is
It's okay.
not so good.
Yes? It's okay. Share. What did you see?
I see only about career. Only
Yes?
about career,
Yeah.
not about myself or life. I would like to be a deputy director or head of department in organization like NGO and
wow.
Maybe in industry in field to support startups or teenager with startups and work with teens to approve their idea or their small startups
yes.
like this.
Excellent. So you would like to have your own business
no,
and
no own.
Not own.
Or deputy director.
Oh, working for an NGO.
Yeah,
NGO.
Or
NGO.
Or in other organization
yes.
or head of department with
that supports.
Yep,
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing. So yours is like a leadership role.
Yes.
So yeah. So like for you, it's like all the leadership skills that you would be thinking of. What kind of skills might you need? Leadership skills, organisation skills, project management, business development, outreach work, connecting with other organisations. Those are the skills that you would need to be thinking about. Anyone else? Leading a team. Yeah, perfect.
I think about
what do you dream?
I want to open an online school. I like languages, so
a language school.
Yeah, like to be teachers. So teachers who are gonna teach a lot of international people. And this school will be in a different country. Yeah, this is my dream.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And you know, think about what you would need for that. What kind of skills would you need? Would you need other people around you? Would you need some business support? Do you need any language qualifications or teaching qualifications, or are you going to get other people to do it? How are you going to organise that and go towards that? Right, so what we're going to do is everybody's going to have a piece of paper, and we're going to start off by drawing your dream of where you see yourself and your career and everything else in your life around you. And I would like you to think about, these things. So this is me in the future on your piece of paper, not like this. You're going to draw yourself nicely, you know. You're going to make a nice picture of yourself, not like this. And you can put yourself here, and you can draw all the people, all the things around you, your kids, your home, your job, your career, your time, your happiness. Draw this and think about this bit first. And think about which people you would like around you. And then I want you to think about the tree. The tree. Because the tree is what you want to grow. It is what are you growing? What is it that you are growing? What roots? The tree has roots under the soil. What things do you need to help you to grow? And what do you want to grow? So that's all we're going to put on the paper. Our dream, everything that we need around us in our dream that we would like, our family, our children, our home, our careers. What does that look like? Draw it. And then a tree, and around that tree I want you to write the words of what you want to grow. So has everybody got a piece of paper? I will just get one piece of paper for everybody. Helena, could we have a piece of paper for everybody, please? So we're going to have, for everybody, a piece of paper, and we're going to have some nice colours. So you can do some nice pictures. Okay? Is that all right? Lovely. Just pass it round. Pass pass it round. Oh, thank you. Anybody want any colours? Please feel free to sit on the tables if you like, or here, or whatever. Oh, lovely. More colours. Colours.
Choose one. Дерево малювати чи маку? What do I need to
Ah, yeah.
Tree or
Draw yourself here in the future and your tree of what you want to grow. So draw your tree. This is your things that you want to grow. Is it like your time? Is it your resilience? Is it your confidence? Is it your networks? Is it your community? What things do you really want to grow? What is really your inspiration, aspirations, and your hopes? What do you want to grow? What's important to you that you want to grow? This is such a massive exercise. There's no way in 1,000 million years this could ever be attempted in one session. But we've made a start.
Yes.
We've made a start, and then we can. It's always.
Yeah.
It's fine. But even think. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It took me for ages and ages, and I did my first draft, and I was looking for stuff on the internet because I had to kind of, and then I chose in the end to have these pictures, and the me here and the me in the future. It's good. It's fine. Fine. It's fine. I mean, there's so much to talk about with the metaphors, and we can't do it in one day because it's so overwhelming.
You would need.
It's a whole afternoon, and I know that. But I think because we'd advertised it, and I really was keen it should be a career mapping, then I think it was important to introduce the concept of having a map. I mean, even like the feathers of wisdom, that's a lot, and the community of trusted people, and what mountains are holding. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. The mountains holding you back that you must climb. There's a lot there, but it's a start. It's a start. This is my second draft. I was like, yes, hello. Hi,
I have a question. My experience is roots.
Yes, it could be. It's your roots.
Yes,
and
your
my
roots. Dreams and
hopes,
and aspirations.
It's
true.
Yes.
It's true.
And these things.
It's my family, my community, my
that keeps you. That really helps you.
Where I take power.
Where you take your power, that keeps you. Yes, I love that. I love that. I really love that. Pardon? Not too long, because I just think that it's more about thinking about it. It's not the working it through. It's planting the seed, which is all I can do today for now. And then you can go away and do it, or we can come back another time or whatever. So I don't want to drag the workshop because of this. So it's just got to be nimble, and yeah. So I think a few more minutes, and then let me just speak to her. Helena, what time are we wrapping up? So I think what we should do, what time have we got till?
Until 9.
9, okay. So I think what I'm going to do is give a few more minutes for this, get people to come to the front and talk about it.
Yes.
That would be really nice, yeah? And then I think what we should do is get the evaluations done, because I need them. It's so important. If I don't get the evaluations, I'm finished. So I have to have the evaluations. So I need to give everybody a good 5-10 minutes, and then a group photo right at the end, like we did with Mace. I think a nice big group photo right at the end. We did that with Mace, didn't we?
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw it.
Yeah, I think that would be good. And so once they've done this in their presentations, we'll get them to come up. Then we'll get Tatiana to wrap up and do a little thing. Then you can wrap up and do a little thing. And then we'll give everybody the evaluations, and then we'll do a group photo. So just like a couple more minutes.
I was just going to say, that in 20 minutes.
Yeah, a couple more minutes. Right, lovely, wonderful. Thank you so much. Is anybody ready to come and talk about their work they have done? Who would like to come and present their work? Anybody like to come and share their thoughts and ideas that they have come up with? Who would like to? Yes. Yes, come to the front. Come and share your. Oh, that's beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. It's not so lovely, but it is lovely.
Yes.
Just give it to me. It's okay. I know I feel myself in some future. I know I have a dream to work in World Health Organization, and I would like to present solutions for healthcare systems in the world to share with those countries which yet not know these technologies. For example, from the most developed countries to the less developed, in order to, to cover of healthcare as much people as is possible. Because, for example, in countries of Asia or Africa, just one doctor for 10,000 people sometimes, or in some countries. It's a big, huge problem. And in those countries which are developed, maybe some solutions for effective healthcare, how to use money effectively to cover the most of the population for the least price. So my kind of basic what I have. This is family. This is my strong family. It will be my background. This my children. This my husband. This my parents. My friends. What I have my knowledge. I have my experience. I have my beliefs. I have my values. I have my networks. And what I want to be in peace. I want freedom. I want to communicate with wise people, with those people who are compassionate. And what I'm aiming to, healthy body, healthy soil, healthy connections. This is the main things what I wanted to tell. That's all.
Wow.
Excuse me for fast talking.
That is amazing. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Right, we have to talk again because we need to work out how we're going to get there. That's just fantastic. I really, really loved that. And do you know that was so amazing? Because, sorry, I don't know your name. Yana. Right, Yana actually said, look, this is my dream. This is what I want to do. And she's got that dream now. All she has to do is go and get it. And actually, the hardest bit is thinking and doing something. But once you do it, it's actually really not that hard. And it's amazing the kind of things that you can do when you just take the action. It's quite incredible. It really is. But thank you so much for sharing your ambitions. It's so lovely. Lovely. Right. Anyone? One other person? One other person? Oh, one other person? Yeah. did you want to come up? Come on, lovely, fantastic. I loved that.
Actually, I started to, you mentioned about tree.
Yeah.
And I started to draw a tree. And so like, no, later it should be something else.
Fabulous.
Yeah. I
Okay.
still need to finish, like what will be
yes.
leaves. Yeah.
Go for it, go
yeah.
for it.
Це так мене вчили в школі малювати. Я сонечко досі малюю отак. I mean, like, I'm bad in drawing.
So, talk to us,
But
tell us,
to speak about...
so exciting.
Actually, previous time when we had a support session, like last year, in same in Facework, here I mentioned this before, but we had similar practicing, yes, smaller group, and last piece was to be in the front of crowd and to be a public speaker, and actually my first experience to be a public speaker was here. That's why dreams come true, even here inside Facework, and my background, I was always leader. Now in Tango, that's why I'm not a good follower, because I still lead. And actually, I think I'm on the way to my dreams, partly, because if you speak about, like, close your eyes, I think that I want to do international partnership and to support projects to grow. I started to do this, and actually I want to continue. That's why, like if we speak about the river, I'm bad in drawing. And if it's a me now and me in future, I actually want to build and develop international partnerships between companies. I want to have not only me as my biz dev team, I want to have bigger team, and I already have some potential ideas who can be my partners for team, and I want to have my own and to develop international and sustainable projects, because I used to work in Sustainability Academy in Ukraine, and I want to continue this. And one of my missions which I want to do is to open opportunities and to find right people for right businesses and to create these bridges between companies and countries. I mean, like, my dream life is to go to different conferences and events, and to merge people, and by my networking skills to create these opportunities. I don't know, like, I do small part of what I want, but it's actually
so
what
it's
I want.
like projects that could be international, and the collaboration of the projects and the people, and finding the people for the projects.
Yeah. And I started to do it a little bit already.
That's so interesting. That's so interesting. I wonder how you could do that. We need to have a think about that.
Going to other countries, meet new people and merge them together with your request.
And you can use Oculus. Oculus is like a new technology where you can have meetings virtually. And you can invite people. You could set your own business up, and then you could use Oculus to invite partners to meet with clients that you want to introduce them. Have a look on LinkedIn, because we use the Oculus. We have a I have a connection.
Yeah, let's continue with chat.
I have a company that will work, that can show you how to do this.
Okay, nice. Thank you.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
Sorry.
Right, lovely. I think, shall we? Yeah. Hello. Sorry. Could we just ask you to come over here now? We're going to, So I'd just like to invite Tatiana's group back here, and we're just going to wrap up now. So, Dr. Doering, would you like to say a few words when Tatiana's here? And see. Right, lovely. Shall we all come and sit down now, and we can just conclude? Right. So, could we just have some feedback from Tatiana's group and Tatiana herself in terms of how they found what they talked about and wrapping up?
Right. Just I didn't have chance to summarize, and we haven't
Yes.
finished. But I think my main not guidance, the наставление, guidance is you have wealth of experience, all of you. It's amazing. It's just give yourself a bit of time to adapt. This country is different. It's different not just from Ukraine. It's different from the rest of the Europe. It's different from the rest of the world. It will take time to adapt. I'm 13 years here. I'm still adapting. So transferable skills is the key. I think you need to write them down and you need to talk them through to see self-worth, to see self-value. And then it's amazing that after 2-3 minutes, people talking how passionate you are about what you do, practice talking about it. Go to networking events. Exactly what Suzanne just taught you briefly, just do it regularly. Once a week, try to get out to the exhibition, talk to recruiters, talk to the companies, write emails, practice, reach out for help if you need to. One more thing I was going to say. Yes, it's a rule I forgot to say. You don't need to have 10 job offers. And most likely you won't have 10 job offers. It's nice, eager, satisfying experience to be needed and have 10 job offers. You need one.
Yeah.
You just need one.
Yeah.
If you get one, it's a success. So you may have 10 in 10 years' time when you like flying, but for now, just starting small, one job offer is a success. I think that's it from me for
Lovely.
now.
Thank you so much. Anybody like to give any words or feedback of how they found working with Tatiana's session? Anybody like to volunteer a few words of how they found it helpful or what their thoughts and ideas were?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You.
That was very interesting and really helpful for me personally. And but I listened the people outside, and I think they'll find out this very helpful as well. So thank you very much.
It's a
and
pleasure.
we will keep going in this way.
Lovely, thank you. Dr. Doering? Yeah.
I think what I would like to do is to come back to the two types of work that Tatiana and I have been doing this evening and what really we do together. And there are two words. One is mentoring and one is coaching. What Tatiana has been doing is mentoring. That is to say, she comes from inside the industry or the organization, right? So if you can get a mentor who understands your industry, you will get some insider tips on how to progress, how to enter, and then how to progress in that industry. A career coach, which is what I do, I don't talk about specific industries. I talk about trajectories, paths, routes, structures, ways of approaching, looking for fulfilling activities. I'm not even going to say employment, but call it employment if you like, right? So that is what I do, which is rather different, right? They are, of course, connected. And if I can put you in touch with a mentor in an industry, that is fantastic. What I would like to do is to offer all of you, each of you, one coaching session with me. You've got on the sheet of paper that we worked on, at the bottom, you've got my email, you've got my website. I didn't put my LinkedIn, but you can find it very easily. If you'd like to get in touch with me, I will give you a pro bono, which means free of charge, 45-minute coaching session. Okay,
I'll
and we
do
can
that. Yeah, that's a good point.
continue the work that we've done today together.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Doering. We're very grateful for your time and expertise. We're very grateful for your time and expertise. And Tatiana's very kindly offered some group mentoring if anybody wants to write down on their evaluation forms they would like it. I will collect them and Tatiana and I will have a look through. I'll also be discussing with Dr. Doering what the evaluation forms say in terms of further steps and anything that we can do moving on from this. So I'd just like to finish off by handing you the evaluation forms, if that's okay. I don't know where they are. Are they over there, the evaluation forms, or did we put them? Here we are. Do we know where the oh, here they are. Right, lovely. So can I just ask everybody to complete some evaluation forms? Just pass them down, please. These are really, really important because they do help us to improve and understand more about how we can support you and help you. Right, lovely. Could we ask you to complete the evaluation forms? Thank you so much. You have, right. No. Anybody not got an evaluation form? Anyone not got? Thank you. Would you like to complete an evaluation form? Thank you so much. Really, really grateful for your time. These evaluation forms are hugely important.
Write feedback evaluation for Farzana session, I would like to say enormously huge thanks for your generosity and for sharing your experience and knowledge and for bringing to us Susan and Tatiana. Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure. And you know, if you want us, and certainly myself, I know that I would love to continue working with you and we can do some more work.
It's definitely not our last session with you, I hope.
No, much. It won't be our last session, definitely not, no. So we'll be talking, the three of us, and seeing next steps. Because I know Tatiana is quite keen and Dr. Doering is also very generously offered.
І те, з чого ми сьогодні починали, я пам'ятаю, що, здається, Надія сказала, так, що 7-й, number 7, it's yours.
Yes.
Does it change? Did it change your mind after today's session?
I will work with this. My number is 7 because I was a lawyer in Ukraine and I can't do the same in there for now. And I have a big question. Nadia, what do you want to do? And I speak...
still remain.
Yes, but I speak with Tatiana and she helped me in this way because she says that you must to have maybe 2-3 CV in all the way
that was an excellent point,
what you
actually,
want to do and try to send and you will find some job and you can move in this company later in that way what you want. So thank you very much.
That's a very good point that Tatiana made, that if you're applying in different fields or different jobs, have your CVs ready. So I know when I was applying, I had one for project management, I had one for education, I had one for recruitment. I just had three, and then you just tweak the CVs and change your things. But we can do more talks on that another time.
I think it's a great outcomes for today's session. And the next bucket network, our greatest expectation from you, Farzana, that you help us to build this network with different companies, with different employers, and we all get a job.
Yeah, definitely.
Soon.
I'm working hard on it. We've got Simpkins solicitors who've come on board, and they're really, really supportive of Mothers Into Work, and they've sort of said we can have some careers days with them. And we'll be, if they've got job opportunities, we'll be the first to know. I shared with you.
Yeah.
So that's lovely. They've got beautiful offices in central London in Bank and also lots in Essex. We've also got Barclays Bank, who have come on board with their life skills, and they're going to offer career workshops and to us on a quarterly basis through the contact that I have there, which is James, and that's wonderful. And there's other bits and pieces that I'm working on in the background. So lots and lots of lovely things. And if our things go well with Mace, then we'll, continue.
A lot to do with you.
Yeah. We'll continue on with that. So yeah, lots of lovely things. And also talking with companies all the time, every day, reaching out to them. So it takes a little bit of time to get the partnerships, takes a bit of relationship building and trust, but in time we should, yeah.
And I promise you that we are continue to prepare ourselves to with CV writing. Next week we're going to do CV writing workshop. Please bring your CV, and we try to update right here with Dmitro, who is sales and recruitment consultant and company Engage. She will help us to prepare perfect CV, and then we have another proposal to you on May, 14th of May. It's not our day, it's gonna be Tuesday, but you can join to our session with apprenticeship. Special guest is Carol Stewart. She's apprenticeship program manager in Lewisham Council, and she will explain everything about apprenticeship at Lewisham.
Yes, thank you.
Make a note in your schedule.
You can do if you want to.
Then on May, in May, we have job readiness training from International Rescue Committee. It's 1 day training and start from 10 a.m. and finish 5 p.m. So it's 7 hours. Yes. We are going to delve into the job readiness training, CV and cover letter writing, job application, interview preparation, and so on. Please, in advance, you should apply for this workshop. Change makers. Знову я вам нагадую, як користуватись нашим сайтом. Ви можете зайти на Facework Ukraine, натиснути ресурси, попадаєте на такий таймтейбл, таблиця, де є всі наші сесії. Натискаєте, це все клікабельне, ви переходите на сторінку, там, де є саме ця презентація. Тут є презентації, є відео і фото. Так само після цієї сесії в понеділок точно буде на сайті всі презентації, всі контакти, і ви зможете переглянути сесію в Ютубі і також фотографію.
Thank you so much.
Буду розсилати, але це буде вже вівторок, середа. І знову ж таки, я буду розсилати посилання на цей сайт, тобто ви можете першими побачити це все. І у нас є YouTube, сьогодні була трансляція, вона залишається, можете переглянути, всі контакти знову ж там є. Прошу залишити фідбек про цю сесію, написати все, що вам сподобалось, що б ви хотіли покращити. І ми вам будемо вдячні за можливість покращувати наш тренінг.
Ви можете.
Так, як сьогодні. Але у вас не буде можливості контактувати з... Так, наостанок, зараз ми хочемо зробити велику фотографію. Ми дякуємо всім, хто був з нами в Інстаграмі і на Ютубі. До нової зустрічі у четвер. Як ви зрозуміли, у нас буде сесія про написання резюме. Приєднуйтесь до нас. Па-па!
Thank Thank you so much. Thank you, Elena.